Ed Kornoelje from Metro Heath specializes in sports medicine and concussion care, and he joins us now to talk more about today's announcement. What do you make of this? Is this Dan Patrick on the sports show said that it wasn't a game changer, but it's certainly going to add to the discussion here.
It really will, and I agree with Dan. You know, it'll be interesting if multiple people do this, and I don't foresee that happening just because there are so many people who do love to play football. But it is very interesting, and what he's trying to say is that, you know, what the numbers are as far as, you know, if you're going to have Alzheimer's or that type of thing, he's saying the risk isn't worth it. If I'm going to be one of those 3 people that has it, and I don't know if that's the right stat, if that's the one that's been thrown out, or am I going to be one of the 7 people that doesn't, he's saying it's just not worth the risk.
Right. The big question I think parents have, especially as we're going into the summer months or spring and summer months now and kids are going to be more active, is how do they keep track of what's going on with their kids' health out on the playing field? I know that base measurement's a great way to start, and the testing to see where they are at the beginning of the season and afterward. But are we making any advances past that? You
know, I think what the discussion has been great, because it has had parents and coaches and athletes even more, you know, looking at that type of thing. I had 2 people in the office today that were coming off concussions, and the dialogue that we're having is much greater than it was just a few years ago. Pay attention to your child. The coaches all have to take training in this, and so they're supposed to be keeping an eye on your child, but you're going to, as the parent, going to be able to keep the best eye on them. See if anything is different. Do they look different? Do they act different? Are they forgetting things? If you see a hit on the field, sometimes if you see the hit, you think, wow, that is the worst that I've seen, and they bounce right up from that, and you see another one that doesn't look that bad, and that's where a trauma can come in. So talk to them. See if they look different. If they're acting different, if they're not acting themselves, that's definitely a time to get them checked out.
Football gets all the attention, but it is all sports. If you're out on the playing field, you run the risk, and I know that women's soccer was one of those that's high up as far as concussions go. That might be surprising to some people.
Yeah, you know, anytime you're out there and you run the risk of, you know, banging into somebody, whether it's basketball or soccer or those type of things, you can get a concussion. Football gets a lot of play because there's a lot of football players and they're running into each other, but women's soccer certainly is very high with that as well. And so anytime you're out there, you run the risk of having concussion, but you're better off than sitting around and becoming not fit and having things like diabetes and that type of thing as well. So there's a risk with everything you do. It's just trying to keep it all relative and keep it in perspective and keep a close eye on things.
And as we were talking off camera, there isn't a one-size-fits-all here as far as, is 1 concussion too many? Is it 2, 3? That number probably is impossible to pin down.
No, I get asked that a lot, and we don't have a number, and I think everybody's a little bit different. Several people could have similar types of concussions, amount of concussions, and one person's going to have a problem and the others won't, because I think there's something internally that we're going to find later that may go into play into that. So there isn't not a one-size-fit-all.
All right, Dr. Ed Kornoelje with Metro Heath, thanks for coming in tonight. We appreciate it. Thanks, Doctor.